Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Clickbait. We are so happy to be here. Like always, Bachelor Nation breakdown. Fans are convinced Bachelor in Paradise couple Marissa and Riley might have broken up. We're going to talk about that. We also have the Clickbait of the week, knowing the 5 apology languages that can help improve your relationships. I'm sure we're going to get deep with that. And yeah, how you guys doing?
When you say hello, I laugh every time.
I never know,
Hello, everyone.
At first I'm like, well, it's either what's up, everyone, but when you say what's up, you expect a reply.
That's
and
true.
what's up is kind of like early 2000s.
What's going on? I mean, you always say that. I like when you say that.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? It's
I like
kind of
hello,
your thing.
though. I'm more of a hello. Hello.
Well,
Hello.
I will.
Mr. Rogers.
I will say that
Hello,
when
everyone.
you answer the phone, you always go hello. It's like he does. I don't know if anyone else hears that, but he always like answers the phone and goes hello. like,
Well,
it's
what do
kind
you
of-
say when somebody calls you?
Hello?
Yeah.
Like
Not-
with a little
yeah.
question mark at the end. Hello.
Because you're shocked that your phone's ringing and somebody's calling you.
If I
Hello?
answer, that's the shocking part. So I'm like, hello? Do you actually need something? If not, please don't call me.
I'm shocked
That's
at myself
hilarious.
for answering this call.
Well, I want to say congratulations, Joe, for you getting your luggage back. I saw that.
Oh, yeah. I saw
Yes, I got my luggage back. Unfortunately, I just spent like $500, $600 on things that I don't need. Now
that. Won't they reimburse you?
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
It's hard to get a hold of people
Probably
like
a
that.
pain in the ass. That's
Yeah.
probably why they do that, because they know people won't actually call.
100%. Now I have 3 tweezers. I have
Sometimes you lose them.
tweezers are $22.
They are pricey, the good ones.
Tweezers are expensive. Okay. I don't think anybody wants to hear me talk about this anymore.
I will say, though, just one more thing. I was crying laughing, and you were like, you know what? The good thing about all this is I only had to stay on hold for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Or only have to wait for 4 hours.
4.5 hours was the wait.
Well, I just want to tell you the
Oh,
difference between women and men for a second, Joe. Okay.
Let's go. Yeah, sure.
I
Come
lost
at
my makeup bag
Oh,
on an aeroplane. My makeup bag.
that's
$700
over $500 just by itself.
$700 later.
Yeah,
Here's my face.
that is a pain.
Just
to get
my
like
makeup bag.
basics.
That just this small compact thing, $700.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that is
my
annoying.
vanity bag had eye cream in there that was $300.
Oh.
I grew them, okay? I grew 'em.
Well, you said 600 for all this shit you bought, and I said, okay. Look, 700. So yeah, that's that. So life is good, life is great. I love you guys, but let's go. Let's get into
Okay.
it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, first things first, Bachelor Nation breakdown. First one of the day. Claire Crawley and Blake Monar sparked dating rumors after trip to Indiana together. If you don't know who Blake Monar is, because a lot of people don't, ironically enough, he was actually on Claire's season of The Bachelorette when she was still The Bachelorette, and she sent him home week 2.
Mm.
And
I didn't know she
then-
made it to week 2.
She did.
Wait,
Yeah,
how
they
many?
both did.
How many weeks did she have?
I thought it was
4?
like 1.
No. She had more than 1 week.
Oh.
Yeah,
3
I
or
think
4.
maybe
Okay.
it was 3. Yeah, 3 or 4.
4.
But I just want to say, wow, because now if they are together, because it's not confirmed that they're together, right?
No, it was just very flirty.
It was flirty. Okay, cute.
Yeah.
If they are together, it makes you wonder. And I haven't, of course, talked to Claire about this. I got to meet her though, not too long ago. But I wonder if she thinks if they are together, like, damn, I should have went through my whole damn season because maybe I would have
Probably.
ended up with somebody else because clearly she's not with Dale anymore.
And
Yeah.
knowing him personally, I feel like he's probably asked her about that and brought that up to her. But I feel like she was just she had blinders on for Dale that she wasn't really going to pay attention to anyone else. I don't even know if the man spoke on her season.
Did he speak
Yeah.
to you?
Did he speak to me?
Yeah, like when you guys were, because you guys went on like a date, right?
No, we had never.
Oh.
We didn't meet before Paradise. We had
Oh,
never
I'm
met
saying
before
in,
No,
Paradise.
he- in
Paradise,
Paradise,
you
in
went
Paradise.
on a date, right?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For our listeners, if y'all didn't
yeah.
know, Taya and Blake went on a date.
Yes. Okay, so I saw Blake briefly on Claire's season and was like, damn, who's that tatty daddy? She just sent him home. He didn't even get to talk on there. Fast forward to BIP 7. I knew last minute that I was going. I was like, hey, I would love for him to be there. I think he's so attractive, all the things. Mm-hmm. And we did go on a date in Paradise. And it was a great date. And then I literally woke up the next day and like had the ick and was like, okay, what's going on?
The ick. Okay, so stop. I'm going to stop you right
dude,
there.
Whatever,
I'm going to stop you right there. If people don't know what the ick is, I actually learned this from Tia in Paradise at our lunch table. And she's like, yeah, the guy gives me the ick.
I remember this.
Yes, and the ick is like anything he does, I can't stand. Like every time he opens up his mouth, like it's just like,
and I couldn't control it. I couldn't help it. And I felt guilty because I wanted him to be there. I wanted to hang out with him. We had texts and stuff before, but obviously nothing crazy. Like we knew there was a chance we could meet in Paradise. So I was like, we'll save, any conversation for that. And
you just got the ick.
The ick.
So
it just is what it is. I hope him and Claire are happy together. I mean, I would think that she wouldn't be posting a long, drawn-out video if they weren't actually dating. It was a cute video, but my jaw was on the floor. I could not believe it was his face.
Okay.
At the beginning, it was just showing like his back, and I'm like, oh, that guy's tall and cute. Okay, yeah. Tattoos. Then he turned around. I was like, you're fucking kidding me.
Did your heart sink? Were you like, not heart, like you care still, but like, did you feel like,
oh, yes. Yeah. Not like offended, not like I wanted him or anything.
Of course,
I was just a little stunned. A little stunned.
And she didn't, and Claire hasn't like explained any of it, right? Like there's no explanation.
No, but like she was with his niece and nephew. Like there were kids in that reel, and that's his niece and nephew. Like that's, Indiana's where he's from.
Well, niece and nephew, that has to be like 5 dates in at least, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, it said that she went there for work, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Said something about she said
Indiana?
something. Well, he does something with hair, right?
Oh yeah, male grooming specialist.
Yeah, he talked about that a lot.
Oh yeah, she does hair.
Yeah, so I think they were doing some sort of collab with that, and then maybe she was like, "Hold on, Teddy Daddy is fine. Wait, I shouldn't have sent you home. Hold on."
Like, what's your name again?
Yeah,
you were on my season.
Yeah, so I will say this, like people can say what they want to say about Claire. When I met her in person, I was like, bitch, you fine as hell. She's so beautiful. She is so beautiful. Like, I was like, what waist? Where? Like, she's so proportionate. She's so cute, whatever. I'm just, giving her womanly props. But he probably was like, goddamn, wow.
Well, yeah, and he's attractive too.
All right, so they met at a hair convention in Indiana, and hopefully there's no ick. Okay.
But I'm just going to say one last thing. I could see this as, and I don't know if it is or not, because clearly it's not clear on what is actually going on yet, but I could see Claire putting this out there being like, y'all leave me the F alone and stop telling me that I need to be with this person or be with that person. I'm out here living my life, doing my thing, right? And it's like, maybe it's not even anything serious, right?
Any press is good press.
I'm going to comment on that. And I guess this has something to do a little bit with our next article as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to accept the fact that people follow us because we were on a dating show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people, I mean, that's why. It's because
they're invested for life.
They're invested because of, whatever. It's like TikTokers do the TikTok thing. We are known for dating. So when somebody like Claire
getting our heart broken.
Yes, or getting your heart broken. But I think with somebody like Claire who was the lead, the people that follow her expect from her to give somewhat of an explanation. And I don't think the attitude should be like, I'll do what I want when I want. Because that's why these people follow you.
Well, yes, to a certain extent, but I think that like we're all human as well, in the sense of like, we're all human as well. So if I'm not trying to date right now, just because I just got out of a relationship or this public thing that clearly her and Dale, it got real messy or whatever happened between them. I don't think that, like, she still has to live her life, but then also it's like, it is very annoying. I mean, for me, not to make this about me, but the amount of messages that I get every time there's a season, oh, I ship you with this person, I ship you, date this person, do this, do that. It's like, hi guys, I'm not fucking Charity. You know what I mean?
But
like,
that's totally different. She was the lead of she was the Bachelorette, and now she's posting with somebody who was on her season.
Right.
A cute lovey-dovey post with, somebody's kids in there. So it seems like they're dating.
It seems like they're dating, but also I think that you can't, for the sake of this conversation, we're talking about it just for this reason. We would be talking about it if they confirmed that they were together or not, right? Because we want them to be great and be happy, whatever. But saying that to say, I don't think that you have to succumb to the internet. I think that people follow Claire because of who she is, period. And because she was on this show. I don't think if Claire decided I'm going to be single for the rest of my life, all of her followers aren't going to stop following her. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel like she also doesn't generally share, just overly share. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I overshare a lot. I don't know. So I almost feel obligated.
I don't think you overshare. I think that our followers follow us because they want to know what we're doing in our life. Yeah. And they look at us for certain things. Like, if I can shed some light into someone dealing with a fuckboy, I will. You know what I mean? If I can give somebody some light, then that's great. But I just feel like, I don't know, I guess to sum this up, I think that everybody has to do what they feel comfortable with. And she wanted to stir some pots. And I think that we know that Claire's known for that. And she did it. Yes, she did. Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Next article. Fans are convinced BIP couple Riley and Marissa have split. This it makes me sad. But, the signs are kind of...
The signs are there.
To it.
Like, I mean, I got engaged on the same day that they did. I at the time, I thought they would make it. I like both of them. We still don't know.
Right. You always hope that it's not true, but
Marissa has taken down photos, and usually that's like a huge sign.
Apparently her Facebook too says single. I don't know if she may not have ever changed it to engaged, but
yeah, and it's also like they were, out of all three couples, they were probably the most lovey-dovey I felt publicly on Instagram, and that has stopped. So,
I don't know if that's true.
I think so.
Yeah,
they post. I think out of all three of us, they
had the magazine photo shoot. They posted that.
Yeah, they did the people one. I just think they maybe posted the most.
Together.
Yeah, together.
Yes, together.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of an abrupt stop.
Yeah, it was an abrupt stop. There's photos that have been taken down. I like them both, so I want them to be happy. But yeah, if I had to guess, I think they broke up.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Marissa because, I am someone who wants to give people their space when things are happening. And, she knows I'm here for her. And whenever she wants to talk, we can talk. So I don't know. So I'm not, one way or the other. I do know that she gave up a lot of all the couples. She picked up and she moved to New York, like, wholeheartedly. I know all the other couples are still kind of doing their distance thing and spending time and, doing their thing.
Yeah,
wait,
Serena's on her way.
Chicago?
Serena's on her way here now. No, they
were in New York.
But did Marissa move to New York?
She did
officially move. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Oh,
yeah. She was here. Like, she moved. She pretty much moved here. Yeah. Yes, she moved here,
and
they
were
together.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So, they went full throttle, full in. I do think that she's back in Atlanta now. I've seen her posting and things like that. But I miss her. The one thing I will say just because I'm going to say it because I don't care. It was just, for me, I think in any relationship, it's a little bit of a red flag when the relationship becomes a little isolating. And, Marissa and I were good friends, and we are still good friends. And I just felt like I look at the other couples. I look at, Joe, you, and Serena. Like, Serena still very much has her own life. You still very much have your own life. All of the couples pretty much, still very much are doing their own thing. But she very much gave up kind of her life to integrate into his life. And,
I wonder if that was her idea or his. Or like,
I don't know. I think it's like maybe it's a group thing. And, I think when breakups happen, it's never just one person's fault, right? Like, something on both ends just kind of didn't work. But I hope, and, people break up, they get back together, they break up, get back together.
Right.
I hope the best outcome for them. But I did notice she kind of was just very isolated, and I missed her. So I hope she's doing okay. Yeah.
Interesting take. I don't know. You always hope that if it is an actual breakup and they're going to stay broken up, it was for the best reasons and that they'll both be good.
Yep.
Okay, on to The Bachelor. Clayton has a drama-filled week, too, on The Bachelor. This shit was wild. It pissed me off.
Y'all, I got to pick up my damn notes.
I mean...
Where do we start? I got
it starts
notes.
And you're like, okay, this is something. It's probably can't get any worse. And it kept getting worse.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have...
Let me find my notes.
I'm getting the girls confused. It started with Cassidy, right?
It started with Cassidy. It ended with Shanae and Cassidy. Listen, people, there is people, there is always a villain of the season, and it's just watching Cassidy. It's like, okay, it really seems like you're trying
she
to
did
be
it
the
on purpose. Yeah.
I don't think when somebody's the villain, I don't think that person's actually necessarily trying to be the villain, right? They do something wrong or they're just
selfish.
Whatever it is. But this just seemed like I'm like trying to play this role. Like I'm
like trying to teach Shanae like what to do.
That was for me. That is where I draw the line. I said, "Girl, what? What is this?"
I felt for Shanae for listening to Cassidy and taking her advice, and I was like, Shanae's probably gonna watch that back and be like, I shouldn't listen to Cassidy. Well, then Shanae went off the deep end.
Well, so that's the other thing. It's like if there's this big debate that everybody talks about, and I've seen some of the comments in both of their pages kind of like, this isn't a competition, you're blah, 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 blah. It's like, this is a lifelong debate. Is The Bachelor for this or is it a competition? Yada, yada, yada. Everybody talks about this. It's very apparent and clear that Cassidy's mindset is all like, I got this rose. I made it through the first one. Now I got to get. It's like okay, make it. And even in their conversation even with Clayton and Cassidy, it's very empty. It's like, I'm here for you. It's like, we don't know anything about Cassidy.
Well, I mean, yeah.
We know nothing about her. All she talks about is so today, then I got this and, this is how I feel about you. And it's like, girl, you got siblings. Where you like, what you know what I mean? Like what are your hobbies? Like none of that. We don't know any of it.
She's playing it strategically. She's playing it strategically like it's a game. And I think there's a lot of people that watch the show, and I know there's podcasts out there that break it down as if it's a game. And, we're going to obviously, people say, oh, well, they just work for the show. Yeah, we work for Warner. That's what this fucking podcast is. But the truth is the show is very simple. Either you fall in love with the lead or you don't. That's it.
Right.
If you don't ever get real feelings, then it's not going to work. And how you come across on the show, then that shit's on you because you're just throwing darts. And
well, and I think that the other layer of that, to play devil's advocate, is or you get the lead to fall in love with you. Right? Like if you do have this angle, because the truth is like my question that when I was watching this, I wanted to ask you and Tia is, do you think that the, Bachelor fandom, or, the super fans, whatever you want to call it, because that's what it seems like Cassidy is, because she says like, oh yeah, that girl's not gonna, that she's not gonna make it far, talking about Susie when she got her 101 or whatever. It's like, clearly you've watched this show, you've studied this show, whatever you want to call it. So this is why you're having all these angles and things. Do you guys think that builds to the toxicity that these villains or people have when they come on this show? Because I think it does.
I mean, you could replace any man. Like, you could replace Clayton with someone else, and Cassidy would be acting the exact same way.
Most of them would. Most of them would.
Like, it's not even that, it's just for
most
Clayton,
of who
you can
would
tell.
I think most of the people that go on the show, like,
and are all about it's a game. I have to win.
Yes, and that's why, that's why to me the show is the best when it's near the end, because those are the people that actually do have a real connection.
Yeah, the people in the drama are. I feel like more often than not are not the ones that end up at the end.
Well, yeah, and that's where for me, I don't think I think most of the people who watch the show.
I shouldn't have said most of the people. A lot of the people.
Yeah, and most of the people who are familiar with the show maybe have this like thing in their head, because it's so refreshing when you find someone who you can kind of tell doesn't really know what's going on, and it's like they're just being their authentic, true self.
It's more genuine.
But I want to bring something up that I thought, two women, Teddy, who we had on the podcast, said, you're a lot different than a lot of guys I've dated. Cassidy said the same thing to Clayton. You're a lot different than the type of guys that I've dated. What do you guys think about that? And do you think that's a good thing when going on a reality show, to kind of go for what you're not normally dating? Because clearly what we normally dating ain't working, because clearly we're on a reality show to date.
I don't know. Especially with those two as examples. I know this is terrible, but I'm more inclined to believe Teddy and believe that she means it in a way like you're different and that you're better. And I feel like when Cassidy says it, she's thinking like you're different and that I don't go for your type. But why the hell not? Because I'm on TV and I want to try it out.
Right.
And I want to win this game. So it kind of depends on the person too.
Yeah.
I'm all for going for different than what you've normally dated, because obviously, like you said, you're on a dating show. It hasn't worked. So it's a good thing to try out different, but it just depends.
Still learning that.
Yeah. Depends on who is saying it, I guess.
Yeah. So Cassidy, we don't know who this person is, and it seems like it's very similar without the actual finding the notes playbook thing that Ryan had going on Michelle's season. It seems like she has this like thing in her head, it's super calculated, and people want to know who she is. And I'm like, if we don't know who she is, I wonder, if Clayton knows. So
right,
I don't think it's going to end well for her, and you
can't go into it like that. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. You gotta show your authentic self, your true self, and ditch the notes. We've already said that. So, clickbait, guys, clickbait. Let's get into the clickbait. Yes. We're talking about 5 apology languages.
I didn't know this was a thing.
I did not know that this was a thing either. And we talk about the love languages, and, we've heard many things from many people, and many, love languages. They work, they don't work, blah, blah, blah. We are team love languages on clickbait. But there are 5 apology languages now that we are hearing that I'm like, y'all, this relationship shit is hard. I'm single and look.
Can people just say I'm sorry?
Okay, honey, that's what I want to know first before we get into it. Tia, Joe, organically, when you've effed up in your relationships in the past, how do you normally tackle that?
I think it's just how when I F up in anything I do in life, if I'm wrong, I apologize. And I do my best to recognize it. And you know, whenever I'm in a fight with anyone, it weighs on me. So I really break it down and I think I'm pretty good at realizing, you know, when I am wrong, and you know, I apologize and I try to, you know, I try to be sincere about. Oh, I am sincere about it when I do apologize, and I just hope usually that comes off. So,
I'm kind of the opposite. Sometimes I have a hard time accepting that I'm wrong because I want to be right, even if it's just something just petty and dumb. It's hard for me to just let it go. But if I realize I am actually wrong for something, it eats me alive because I'm also a people pleaser. I want to be right, also, but I'm also a people pleaser. So if I actually come off my high horse, I sincerely apologize and typically beg for forgiveness.
Beg
So
for
wrap it all up
forgiveness.
in a bow.
oh, that's because you're. I see.
Right.
I have no yes, I never have an issue with like admitting I'm wrong. I'm like, yeah, you know what, I was wrong. I fucked up. You know.
Yes. Requesting forgiveness is actually one of the 5 languages that they talk about, the 5 apology languages. So I'm just going to spit them out here. Expressing regret, basically saying, I feel bad that I hurt you in this way. Accepting responsibility, like, I was wrong. It's very much I. And making restitution, so saying, okay, I was wrong for not doing the dishes, but now I'm going to do the dishes for the whole week because I didn't do whatever. Genuinely repenting. This one's a little different because you basically say, like, I get why you're mad. Like, you put yourself in their shoes and you say, I get why you're mad. I'm, you know, like, you're right. If that was me, I would be mad too. Because, like, you know, sometimes we get on our high horse and we keep going. And then the last one is requesting forgiveness. Like you said, Tia, you realize that you're wrong and then you say, can you forgive me? So it's kind of like that extra layer. It's more than just saying, I'm sorry. It's saying, can you forgive me as I'm saying sorry? Because sometimes when we do things, we can apologize, but then that person's not ready to forgive, or that person doesn't accept the apology. That's something that this article doesn't really talk about as much, as far as like when someone doesn't want to, you know, like, you know how they say agree to disagree? Like, I really think that that's fine too, right? Like, if someone does something that you don't agree with, you can go in circles for hours, but we're just not going to agree. And that's okay to give each other space as well. So that's my extra Natasha Parker layer that I'm adding to this clickbait. But the other thing that I wanted to say about this article is, when we get into a position of, for me personally, when I do something messed up, like you said, Joe, I'm more like you. Like, I don't care. I'll apologize because most of the time I try really hard to take everybody's things into consideration. But I also know that I can have a bad day and people are so used to me not being a certain way. So when I'm having a bad day, I can really come off very almost opposite of how I normally am. But it's normally not that person. It's normally me and my shit. So I'm like apologizing for my shit, you know? And letting them know, like, it's definitely not you. It's totally me because I'm off today, or whatever you want to call it. So I think knowing yourself, this is like the big takeaway that this clickbait showed me. It's like knowing yourself and finding a way to communicate your hurt or you're sorry in a way that makes your partner realize that, like, I'm offering, I'm offering forgiveness because I want this to work between us, if that makes sense. And Tia, with you, like, you know, not realizing that you're wrong, or, you know, like Dr. Phil used to always say, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
I know, you saying that, like, really,
like,
it really struck a chord with me because I was like, damn, I just want to be right.
Yeah. And that is something that's always stuck with me when he said that, because being right has a validation of feeling good, of course, right? It feels good to be right. But at the same time, if it's at the if it's going to put a detriment to your relationship, friendship, familyship, whatever you want to call it, relationship, sometimes it's just not worth it, right? Yeah, that's
I feel
our
like you can
clickbait.
have like multiple different apology styles too, like in one apology. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And I think what the essence of this, the essence of this clickbait is basically saying how just because you have a way of apologizing, like you request forgiveness, that might not be how your boyfriend
Yeah, and it
takes
doesn't mean
apology.
anything to him. Yeah.
Exactly. But knowing how he, like for instance, if he knows that you need to hear him say, okay, I forgive you, and he withholds that, you might not feel okay until he kind of gives you that validation. And so
Right.
that is something that, just like knowing the 5 love languages, is where this whole thing came from. The guy, Gary, who came up with the 5 love languages, he came up with this because it's all about validating our partner and letting them feel seen, letting them feel heard. And same thing with you, Joe, just because you're like, hey, my bad, I was sorry. Like maybe Serena's like, well, now what are you going to do about it? Buy me another purse if you're sorry. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's what she needs, or not. But
I think it's also just understanding, it's understanding your partner and what upsets them and how, because we're all different, and it's just,
right.
It's good to know yourself, but it's also good to know how your partner responds too.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, I love our therapy sessions.
I know. I need to read through those again and figure out what I am and what Taylor
I
is.
will say I do like, do you guys know what you like? Like I do like when someone does like when they apologize and then they follow it up with something. Like apologize and be sorry, but also send me flowers.
Well, yeah.
I like that.
It just makes the apology more complete.
Yeah.
And just more
for
meaningful.
Me personally.
More meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's that. So
Yeah, as long as someone says, I'm sorry you feel that way, it's a good apology.
Yeah. So this was a good therapy session. And now let's have a little fun, because it is that time for our guest. I'm so excited. We've been trying to get her on the podcast for so long now, but we can't wait to hear what she says about Clayton's season, because guess what? He was on her season. Everyone, please welcome the one and only Michelle to the podcast. Hey, Michelle, what's up? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. We were just
we're so happy that you're here.
And we've been trying to get you here for a long time.
We were talking.
I know, I'm here.
We were talking right before you got on the best couple names, like when the Instagram, they'll put like the 2 names together, and I have one that's Grosserina, and yours is Nayshell. So
Nayshell.
Nayshell could be a real name. That could be your first child's name.
Don't do that. Don't do that. She's not doing that.
Honestly, I've never heard that before, but you might be onto something.
You've never, Nayshell?
Nayshell, you haven't heard of Nayshell?
I haven't heard it.
All my kids are going to be Joe.
All of them.
I think George Foreman. All George Foreman's kids are George. That's
Foreman.
fantastic.
Yeah. Narcissistic.
Wow. Wait. So who came up with Nayshell?
I don't know. Who came up with Grosserina? This is the first time I've heard that. It is clever. It really is clever. And, we could go back and forth, but really, why isn't Serena's name first?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't my name first? I mean, I guess I don't, you know what I mean? But, come on. Come on, Internet, let's go.
If I would have made it, but it's a fan page. I heard that you have your own fan page, Michelle, that you're actually the one behind that.
Oh.
Is that true? I know.
You want to know why I'm laughing? You want to know why I'm laughing is because anybody who knows me can attest to this. The fan pages that are out there, they are so quick with their posts and everything like that. It takes me forever to even post, to even figure out how to efficiently post at this point, because I'm trying to teach. I'm still new to Instagram, stories versus reels versus
it's a lot.
Whatever else is out there, your feed.
So
I could be the leader, or I could, be running my fan page, but it wouldn't be going as well as it seems to be doing. So I guess there's your answer.
I actually heard, and I don't know how true this is, so I might as well ask you, but I heard like that was one of your biggest things when you did get announced as a lead, like you don't really care about social media. Not that you don't care, but you're like, oh, I got to do social media.
It's just, what's so hard is I feel like there's a lot of really good things about social media, businesses and positivity, and there's a lot of things that can be put out there, but there's also a lot of negative things at the same time. And I guess for me, social media has just kind of never been something that grounds me. It's not anything that I rely on, and I like to be present with the people that I'm with. So when I'm out with friends and when I'm with family and things like that, I definitely do like to take photos and capture those moments. But I guess the first thing that's crossing my mind is not like, okay, I have to go post this, which I do want to share Nate's story and what we're up to, but I just forget. I truly do forget that there's social media, and I can post, and then I forget that I posted, and then realize it's been 3 weeks since I made a post, and I'm like,
it's honestly probably better that way. So,
I get that too, though. Okay, so how has it been with you and Nate? How is life since you guys are engaged and now you're finally public?
It's so nice being able to openly talk about Nate and our relationship, and we're in long distance right now, and he's still he's in Austin right now. We're kind of going back and forth for a little bit until we get settled in and figure out our spot where we're going to be living. But it's nice when I'm out with friends to be able to say Nate and I, and not use code names, and just be able to kind of talk openly and freely. And, when we are visiting each other, we can go run errands together, and we can go do different things together, and we're not on lockdown and hiding. So that's kind of been my favorite part, is just being able to finally introduce him to friends, family, be able to go out and do the little things.
Have you had a lot of people stop you to talk and take pictures?
Yes.
I'm sure it's nuts.
It's a lot. It really is a lot. And for me, at times, I can put on a hat and a hood, and, masks really do help quite a bit. But a hat, a hood, a mask on a massive man doesn't really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not hiding.
No, you can't really hide that man. There's no stopping 6, 8, and 8. You cannot hide him. But, the people that have stopped us have been super excited, and there's definitely a lot of attention that we're kind of getting used to. So
Nice. Now I have to ask, that's the positive, and we love that. But how strange is it after these shows, you have besties like you and Serena, you get these besties, Nate has his besties, and they're your exes. Has that been weird? Has that been weird with Rodney and Joe, and you guys live in the same city? How's that?
Honestly, no. Because I feel like when I was kind of going through this process, especially my top 4 guys, I really did build a relationship with them, and I cared about them as a person, and I still do, and I feel like it's the same with them. And I think the weird part is almost other people making it weird.
I see.
And I guess it is the concept, when, me, Nate, and Joe were all together the other day. And everyone's like, oh, weird, that's your ex. And for me, it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I kind of forget, just because Joe and Nate had their own friendship, and we care about each other as, people in general, and we're rooting each other on. And when it comes down to it, we know it was a situation we signed up for. We know that not everybody, I didn't want to end this thing with 30 fiancés. It was only going to be one person, right? And so definitely, Nate has a mature mindset where he's moved past that. Joe has as well, and me. So it's just, we get to actually spend time together as friends. I feel like if any, 30 fiancés would be a lot. Yeah. But it's been good. I think probably the person it would be the weirdest for would be Nate. But him,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I
yeah,
said
we
that
had
last
It would be
podcast.
Nate.
last week.
Yep.
it
Yeah.
would be Nate, I feel like, just because in his mind, like, not that it was like competition, but that's the people that you're, sharing your person with temporarily. And so
Right.
with
Right.
him, he's been like, no, we're good. He checks on me. Is this going to be weird? I'm like, no, because I got eyes for you and only you, baby. Like,
Yeah.
we're good.
I could be wrong when I say this, but I also think because, like, those relationships, they were real, but they didn't, the duration was short. So you could actually take away a friendship. Whereas if you were in the real world and you dated for a year and a half and then you're with your ex, I think that would be harder.
Yeah, I would say yes and no, because I originally I'd be like, yeah, it's a shorter duration of time, and I think with some of the relationships, it is, you don't have that same level of connection, and so you do, like, you send them home and it's a short relationship. But with kind of how much I really did embrace the process, I feel like it's quick, but you do get to a certain level of feeling quicker than normal. So there is still, you know what I mean? You still know as much about that person as you probably would if you dated for a few years, just because you did jump right in.
Sure.
About the serious stuff anyways, the favorite colors, the favorite food, the allergies, that stuff, couldn't tell you. I can't even tell you if Nate has allergies. But
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's fair. Okay. Are you watching Clayton?
I am watching Clayton season, and
Good,
it's
'cause-
been
Stark
Yes,
contrast to your season.
it
Very
has been
strange.
so strange watching it back kind of after you've been on both sides of it,
Right.
And so with him also, Clayton came into this not really having watched the show, being on the show as a contestant, but not watching that unfold before he went through his own.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh, yeah.
he, you know what I mean? Like, there's a massive learning curve with different things. But, hey, I mean, I feel like he's embracing it. I feel like he's
trying.
really-
God love him.
He
He's trying.
is.
Yeah.
He is. And it's like, that's all you can ask when, I don't know, when someone doesn't have all the answers, that also shows that you're genuine, that he's a real person, regardless
For sure.
of everything.
When you broke his heart and made him cry on national. No, when you
That was the
when you-
kids, okay? The
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
Do you
when
hear
you're
this?
kid. But seriously, when you did break up with him, did you think there was any chance that he was potentially going to be the next Bachelor?
I honestly don't think through my time start to finish I ever even thought, oh, who am I going to send home who's going to be the Bachelor? I think I was so focused on where are my feelings at? When's the last time have you eaten? What is the next piece of
Have you
drama going to
eaten?
be?
Oh,
How
no.
should I handle this? How should I handle this? When can I go to sleep? Like
Yeah.
that is my cycle, and I
Yeah.
wonder what Nate's doing right now. Like that was like,
Oh.
you know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
that was my cycle. And so, yeah, I didn't really, I felt really bad sending Clayton home. I felt bad sending a lot of people home. Like, truly, genuinely felt bad. But, yeah, did not think, I wonder if he's going to be the next Bachelor.
See, that's
So,
interesting because I feel like if I was the lead, I would think that. I would be like,
You could peg
maybe.
someone.
I would think like
would
maybe.
you plan it out? Would you be like, okay, my feelings aren't as strong for this person, so because I feel like they, would be a good Bachelor, I should send him home quicker? Would you, like, strategize?
I feel
No,
like
no,
I
I
would.
would. No, what do you do? What do you? You
First
put
of
words in my
all,
mouth. What's-
strategize.
No,
I get
He
I
would.
get what you're saying, Joe, but I do not think you would be thinking about that.
No,
I do not think
here
that.
I would think near the end, if somebody was starting to like waver a little, like back and forth, in my head, I would think like maybe this person wants to be the lead because once you're, I don't know,
I
I
see.
think that's what potentially would cross my mind.
I don't know.
No.
What you're saying is you're thinking about what's in their head. Not like I wonder if this person's going to be the Bachelor, but I wonder if this person
Yes.
is thinking about being the Bachelor. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah.
I got you. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm
that's-
surprised you never thought that. I feel like
I didn't see that.
isn't that
point,
exactly
though.
what happened with
I feel like that's
Katie
called
and
being
Greg?
there not for the right reasons, maybe.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of wiped that out. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, you do have a point.
Did you see her? She sent people home like,
She
"Oh, you
said,
don't
no,
like that?
honey,
Bye."
we got to go. We got to go. So, okay. So with that though, Michelle, watching your season back, was there anything that you were happy, like really happy that aired? And then was there anything that you were like, ooh, I wish they did not air that?
Oh gosh, coming in with the hard questions. Okay. I think I wasn't really sure. We just had a lot of really good conversations. I felt like when I sat down with these guys, there were so many just valuable conversations that could offer a lot. And, whether, that was talking about race, whether that was talking about relationships and experiences. And there were a lot of really beautiful conversations shown. I think just being able to show more of those, in times where, of course, when you're watching back, you're like, man, I know that there was this conversation that I had at a rose ceremony or a cocktail party that was beautiful, and right now we are watching all the guys yell at each other. So I'm like, no,
Yes,
but
yes.
but also again, like it's it's a TV show, and as far as kind of cringing at anything being shown, I mean, it's uncomfortable to watch yourself on TV. Like watching back the sleepover date, not pleasant at all. Not pleasant at all.
Well,
But
that wasn't bad. You freaking killed it. You handled everything with
Yeah, you were
such
great.
grace. Like every week, I was just so amazed by you. And
But
how
I
you
feel
handled
you.
everything.
I feel you. I feel you on that. Because for me too, girl, I was watching that and I was like, ooh, no one wants to feel like that. So I got you.
it was just more because when you watch back, and you guys as well, like when you watch back, do you kind of tap into those emotions? Like if you were really uncomfortable on a date or during a certain situation and now you're watching it on TV, for me, like my body kind of taps back into that. And so I'm like,
Makes you want to
oh,
crawl under a table and be like,
See,
oh yeah.
yeah. And then other people, exactly.
Oh yes.
I am
yes.
when I'm watching back myself, I'm just thoroughly entertained. Like I enjoy it so much because
Joe.
I'm like, this guy
Somebody
is just
get this man.
great, And then like when I'm off, like so when I was on Paradise and like if it wasn't my scene, I had a hard time watching. So I truly only enjoy.
To all the viewers listening, you did this to him.
Joe likes
made
when
this
he's
happen.
on the screen.
He's
Okay.
ridiculous. Well, I do understand what you're saying because yes, I literally went through what I went through, and then watching it back, I went through a whole depression during that whole time. I had so much anxiety. You go right back to the beach. You go right back to that moment. You go right back there. So I definitely feel what you're talking about, and it's really hard to watch and hear people talk about it and comment and all that. So yeah, it's tough. But some people, like Joe, love to see themselves on TV.
I'm joking.
It's funny, though, that you bring up that weekly anxiety, because even with, like, Clayton's season, I still feel that, Natasha, where, every Monday or every Tuesday, right, you kind of gear up. And even, like, when I'm working and stuff like that, it's like my body knows that tonight's the night, like what's going to happen. And it's not so much that I was worried about how I was going to carry myself. It's just, you're just aware that there could be tension, or aware that there could be issues on the internet, or just different things that pop up. And so now every Monday, my body's like, it's Bachelor Monday. I'm like, it's not our turn anymore.
Right.
It's okay. Like, I'm trying to give myself a pep talk, like, settle down. You're good. But it's a lot.
Have you, with that said, have you gotten a chance to talk to Clayton since it's now airing and given him any advice or anything about his season now that it's airing, because you just went through it?
Yeah. Clayton and I actually have a very good relationship where we have had a lot of really good conversations before, during the show, and then now after the show as everything's kind of unfolding, because it's just, you just kind of go through all these different phases of gearing up to be the lead, and then you are there and the advice there, and then, being done and watching it unfold. And so we have had a lot of just really good conversations, and I feel like he's doing a good job of just kind of rolling with the punches. And, you know, people are mean on the internet. People are really mean. You know, people will go out of their, like, can we talk about how people will go out of their way to, like, go to your page to send you, like, a
paragraph.
3-page or whatever paragraphs about, like, you and your choices and things like that. And it's like...
Don't read it.
No, you don't. But also at the same time, I'm like, Clayton, like, do not look at that. Don't look at the comments. You can if you want to, but at the end of the day, like, that's their time that they're wasting.
Yeah,
like, it's equivalent to those. Yeah, and it's equivalent to those, you know, those spam calls that they call you and the whole, like, thing. Like, if you were the person who is hunting down my page to write me paragraphs, like, you are wasting your time because it's not affecting me. Like, you just spent however much time of your day trying to spam me. Like, those people who call and try to steal your money. I'm like, hey.
I know Clayton does read a lot of the comments because he's openly admitted that. And, and it, I mean, it's hard.
It's hard not to at first.
People are mean. Like, they're just mean. But you have a lot of, like, so, you know, you had a lot of good guys in your season, and it seems like you're friends with a lot of them. But let's get mean for a minute. Like, who do you hate? Because I know there's kind of, is there anybody from your season that you're like, what?
Joe, okay. You know that Serena and I are close friends, and you've watched the season, so you do know me fairly well. And no, I really do not hate a lot of people. Like, hate is a very strong word.
Who would you be like?
Dislike is even a strong word. I'm just, you know, there's some people that I just don't really
vibe with.
Want to spend my energy on. You know what I mean? Like, I want everyone to do well. I want everybody to. Nobody deserves to be threatened at Men Tell All. You know, I really did talk to Martin and Jamie about that, and you know, I guess it's
you talk shit about anyone. I want to hear you talk shit about somebody.
It's not worth it for what? No, like, you know what I mean? For what?
This is what I'll say.
This is totally me. Is to not
This is what,
Natasha.
If we had you on, like, during your season, I really wanted to know who disappointed you the most out of all the guys. Like, when you know,
a good way to put it.
There's a lot, because there's just a lot that happened, and I mean, I could tell you who disappointed me. I could tell you, and I told everybody. I said, "Goddamn!" But I want to know who disappointed you the most.
I would say that when I got really frustrated in the situation with Jamie, and I was definitely frustrated in that moment. I was hurt. I was frustrated, you know, sending him home. Same situation with Martin. Kind of, you know, very similar. Frustrated, hurt, sending them home. But I think what actually got me the most was when I watched it and when it actually unraveled on television. And then you see the interviews. Right? Because I was hurt with our conversation and what I knew, and I wasn't privy to that other information. And so once that started to unfold and you see that, that's where it becomes frustrating, you know, when someone puts your character down and it's like, okay, my gut feeling was correct, but then, you know, you get an apology, but then at the same time, it's just, it's, I don't want any beef. I don't want anything with it. But to answer your question, those were definitely two situations of connections where I did have a strong connection and we were able to have, like, intellectual conversations, and I was at one point excited about those relationships, and to then, you know, feel what I felt and then watch it back and hear some of the things, I'm like, I would never talk about anybody like that. Like, you know, like, I thought we had a better level of respect than that. Like, you know, that's kind of those situations. But again, those are things that were squashed.
So you don't hate, so you don't hate them?
No.
Joe wants me. You're
I'll
a
just fuck with you.
You're a podster, aren't you? Okay.
Right,
yes, he crazy. He crazy.
We don't want to keep you for too long, so one last question, then we're going to play a game if that's cool. But if you could give Clayton, I know you've given him some advice, but if you could give him, you know, one piece of advice, what would it be?
Ooh, my one piece of advice to him is give yourself grace with everything, because as you're navigating and as he navigates through this, you can have a lot of advice and you can try to take that advice, but like in the end, you really truly just do the best you can at that moment with the information you have, or giving the circumstances, or, you know, the overwhelming feeling or the anxiousness and the stress. It's like you're going through so much, just give yourself grace. And so if you don't respond how you typically would respond, that's okay. Be understanding. If you get hurt by a comment, that is okay. Like, it's a lot on your shoulders, but then, you know, continue to give you grace and let it go and move forward, just because it's so much to handle and life really does change. And I wish there was like a rule book of how to navigate everything perfectly, but there's just so many layers all the time, and every situation is so different. So
that's good life advice in general.
Yeah,
yourself grace. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just so in awe of you. You're not a real person.
I heard you, Michelle, I heard you're quitting being a teacher and you're moving to LA to be an influencer.
Look at her. My gosh.
Yeah, actually.
Go ahead.
I do have a question for you, Joe. I have a question for you. If I were to quit my job as a teacher, move to LA and be an influencer, what product or what would I influence? And you cannot say your pasta sauce. You cannot say your sauce, okay? It has to be outside of that. What would I influence?
I think you would do great with like a yoga brand. I could see
Nike.
you. I could see you.
Yoga?
Like,
have you seen my flexibility?
Boo, we can work on that. Boo, we can work on that. I got you, Boo. I got you.
Well, Sundays with Joe is really, you know, we're in those DMs. We're really trying to get you to walk out of school and join the Sundays with Joe. No, I'm fucking around. Okay, let's play a game.
I will say, Michelle.
I was gonna say maybe I should ask Tia and Natasha.
Yeah, because honey, you know he messy. No, I will say, Michelle, you, no matter what, inspired a lot of people. Seeing you on your season of The Bachelorette, for so many people, for so many reasons, really, you know, when we watch, I don't want to throw shade to other bachelor or really bachelors, not really bachelorettes, but bachelors who seem like they can't focus or they can't make a decision. It was like, Michelle did it. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that decision she just made. Out.
And
Gone. You're out, buddy.
Every time.
Yeah. You know, it's like there's so many times where we get frustrated as viewers watching the show. I think when you're just like, come on, really? You're going to do that? We never had that. At least I never had that with you. And I think it's really refreshing. And what you can influence is just being a bad bitch. Honey, influence us to be a bad bitch, right?
Go.
Yeah, like, I mean, and that goes with everything. So I'm so glad that we got to have you here. And we're going to have a little game. And also, you and Nate, y'all come back to Clickbait whenever you want. We had Nate on too.
Yes.
He's a joy. We love him. So, our game. You've been on The Bachelor. You've been on The Bachelorette. You have been our Bachelorette. And this is a game of firsts. So like the first week, first thing that comes to your mind, I'm going to read some things off. First thing that comes to your mind, whether it's from your time at Bachelor, Bachelorette, whatever, first thing that comes to mind, tell me what you think. Okay?
Okay.
Rapid fire. You ready?
It's just like a this or that.
Yeah. You ready?
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. A simple entrance or an over-the-top entrance?
Over the top.
Heels or flats on the first night?
Heels.
Competitive or laid-back group date?
Competitive. And throw me in it with them.
Yeah. Please invite me in your game.
Yes.
Okay, so during a group date, we kind of saw this on Clayton's episode. During a group date, would you rather have someone focus on you and not the date and not the task that they have to do, or winning the date and not focus on you?
Oh man. Oh.
Hard.
Is there a way to like spend time with me and not?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know the second one. You know how it feels when they focus on the game.
Unfortunately,
Right, like,
Michelle, you can't rephrase the question. That's not how this game
Oh my
works.
gosh.
Okay.
Get out of here.
All right.
Okay. Me without being weird about it.
You want them to
Focus
focus
on
on
you.
Like,
you. Yeah.
I would want, you got to put in effort.
E for effort. I like it.
E
Effort
for
all,
effort.
all around. Yeah.
A for effort.
Okay. For a one-on-one date, simple convo or a fun activity?
Fun activity.
Somebody-
Agrees.
Yeah,
He
somebody
agrees.
seconds that. Someone
That was
seconds
my
that.
mom, sorry. The FedEx man really got her excited.
Okay. Bold moves or subtly sweet? Subtly sweet.
Subtly sweet.
A deep convo or keep it light on night one.
Deep convo. Let's jump right in.
Get sent home before the rose ceremony or after the rose ceremony?
After the rose ceremony.
First impression rose or first rose at the rose ceremony?
Oh.
First impression rose.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. first impression rose.
Daring or timeless fashion on night one?
Daring.
Okay.
I disagree with that, but go ahead.
Wait, what do you mean by that? You think
I
what
believe
is
it-
daring versus timeless fashion?
You know,
Explain.
I
Okay.
personally like a black suit with a white shirt. Just saying.
That's just your look.
I don't know. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We don't have to wear a Dumb and Dumber suit.
I second that. Daring. Yes, daring. You know, that doesn't mean a costume, but you
Yeah.
can be edgy. You know,
Okay.
what is it? Nate calls it peacocking.
Well,
He's
he
like,
never
I like
wore
to
like
peacock.
a button-up shirt, right? He wore like T-shirts, and it was his style, and it looked cool.
It was, but Nate also didn't know what the show was, and he packed two
True.
suits and didn't
True. He
think
did
he was
tell
going to
us
make
that.
it that far. So, you know, his
Right.
his fashion, all things considered, yeah, he always looks good.
It was good fashion, but it was an accident. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Would you rather be aware of the drama between the contestants or stay out of it?
Stay out of it. Let them figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay focused.
Yeah.
agreed.
I'm gonna stay focused.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Last thing that I have to give you, we know we saw the deleted scene of you being on Clayton's season and you brought Luke. I love me some Luke. I love him so much. I love him. I do. I love him so much. That's all I got to say.
They are so sweet, and Luke and Kelsey, they're not paid actors. Like, they are my students, they are my kids.
Yeah.
Their
They're so
family, I'm very close with their family, and they just are so freaking sweet, and they give you how it is. And the first thing, so when I got home from filming, before everything started to be on air, I went to dinner with that family, and Kelsey and Luke asking me, so you're done filming? And they're like, yeah. And then Kelsey goes, do you know who won? Like, when did you find out who won? Because they've been asking, like, their mom, like, who won? And she's like, I don't know. And so they asked me, do you know who won? And I just died laughing. Like, no.
I don't know.
They haven't picked it out,
It was the
though.
cutest. It was the cutest thing ever. It was just.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. I love that. They are
Nice and
really gems. Shout out to their parents because they seem really, really sweet.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're great kids. All of them.
All right. All right. Well, Michelle, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. What is
Also, okay, Joe, I will say this. I do have your pasta sauce. I've not cooked in forever, and I'm planning on using it tonight.
Oh, yeah?
You know.
Nice. Send me a pic. I want to see it.
AKA
Yes.
post it on Instagram and
Post
tag
it
me.
on Instagram.
I don't
Yep.
send people stuff so they can post it on Instagram. Don't do that.
Lies,
care.
Michelle. Post
I'm not
it.
like that. You know I'm not like that.
Tag it.
Natasha, what are you fucking doing? Listen, just, you know what? I just want you to enjoy my pasta sauce in the moment.
I will.
That's it. Okay? Just enjoy it in the moment.
100%.
That's it. All right. Thank you so much for coming on for real, though. This was a lot of fun.
You
Yes,
guys were awesome.
thank you so
nice
much,
talking
Michelle.
to you.
Yes. Good
Bye,
luck
Michelle.
to you and Nate.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Later. All right. So nice having Michelle on. I'm wishing her and Nate nothing but the best. They are a cute, wonderful couple. I love seeing
So
them on
cute.
Instagram. I was, like I said, I was there for that after the rose, and I just really, really like those two. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much to our listeners, and thank you to Michelle for being here. We are casting for the upcoming seasons of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Head to bachelornation.com/apply to nominate yourself or someone else.
And as always, make sure to subscribe and submit all your burning questions. Check us out on social and like, comment, DM us. You know where to find us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram, Batch Nation on Twitter, and Bachelor Nation on Facebook and TikTok.
And share your stories with us. We want to know what clickbait you're looking at this week. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Wondery app, or wherever you guys are listening right now. See you guys next week.